as product managers, when we are defining specific features, we are very micro, and we are really diving into the details, and you need to master the details in order to build the right feature. When you want to move to something with take more responsibility or bigger planning, you need to have the ability to look at the bigger picture, understand how the different features or capabilities of the product joins into something cohesive that can bring real benefits, and the benefits are relying to each other, not you're not just throwing different benefits and hoping that something will catch.
Basically, I believe you need communication almost for everything. You need communication to communicate with your users, to better understand their needs, and sometimes the things that they don't even say directly, to understand their needs. And you need to communicate with your team because you are leading a team, and you need them to really understand your expectations from what is required, from the strategy and the quality that you're asking them to do.
I really believe in that trust is the foundation of everything. And now imagine you're a PM. How should you trust someone who never have been in the trenches of what you're doing? I mean, our role is so undefined, and it's so different in every single company. If there would be a leader who never did it, I just would trust him.
Hello, leaguers. This is great having you here with us today. Welcome to today's Ask Me Anything session. I want to know who is new here. My name is Maria Cassis. I'm super excited to have you here with us. I saw some new names in the attendee list, so I am much excited to meet you all guys today and just product party with you. So what is planned for us today? You know, we're all product professionals. We try to put goals, KPIs into anything, always, thinking ahead. We try to do the same when it comes to our career, but this is a big question. Can we actually get ready to have a title? Is there a title that we need to have in mind as a goal? What is it that, we need as product managers to put as a goal for us moving forward? And when we're talking about titles and when we're talking about career management and career growth, well, VP Product Management is the title that we're talking about, and there is so much to know about that. And the first thing that we need to know is how can you actually get to become a VP Product Manager. So this is our session for today, and whether you're just starting your career in product management or you're a director that, looking forward to have this jump in your career, you're in the right place. This is going to be a really interesting session. We've got 3 talented, dedicated, and experienced product league mentors joining us today just for that, to answer all your questions. By the way, I'm Maria Cassis. I'm the founder and general manager of Product League, and we help you to become the best product manager you can be. We are an international program for product managers, by product managers, just about mentoring and bringing the best minds and hearts of product management out there, all out the world, to help you on your process. And it's just great having you here with us today. I want to know, as I said before, who is new? Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from in the world? So please comment, use the chat to let us know who are you, where are you from, and most importantly, what is the question that you have to our guest? Because we already have some questions assigned for this session because you guys submitted them before, but we'll also collect some questions from you. This is a Ask Me Anything session. So please, for the Q&A part, if you have a question about how to become VP Product Management, anything that has to do with that, the road there, what it means, how to be good at that, well, this is the session for you. Make sure to submit your question. And just before I do that, just before I introduce this amazing team to you guys, make sure to follow us, like this video, like our channel, like our page, because every Tuesday on 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're having an Ask Me Anything session all about product management, all about everything that you need to know to grow your career and make the job that you want to do with the amazing mentors that are here to answer your questions. So I am super excited to introduce our guest to you guys. Joining us live from Tel Aviv, let's welcome Avishai Shafir, VP Product at Luligo and Product League Mentor. Avishai is a veteran in the product management domain with experience leading products and product teams in several companies, big and small alike. He is your guy both for startups and for corporations. Avishai previously led the product management in a list of companies, including HP Software, Celebrite, Panaya, and more. How are you, Avishai? So great to have you here with us today.
Yeah, they're very excited. Great evening, great night, and let's see. I'm expecting a great discussion.
That's the spirit. Joining us live from Berlin, please shout out a big hello to Timo Sturm, product management consultant and product league mentor. Timo is a product leader with over 10 years of experience. As a former growth product manager at King and chief product officer at Levon, he managed and launched multiple 8-figure products. He had led product, UX, and engineering teams, competed successfully with US companies like Tinder and LinkedIn, and helped to turn around the company, leading them to a 70 million euro exit. How are you today, Timo?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. That was super
Happy
good.
to. Very excited to have you here with us. Last but not least, also live from Tel Aviv, get ready to learn from Ortal Cohen Tevel, VP Product at Kolu and Product League Mentor. Ortal has 15 years experience in software development and a proven track record of managing successful products reaching a global scale. She loves turning ideas into reality and building innovative products while putting the customer at the center and crafting a delightful experience. Well, apparently you also love to answer other product manager questions because you are here. So how are you today?
Yes, and I'm excited to be here, and I really hope that this session will be productive for you guys. I mean, all of you out there.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. So what are you saying? Guys, are you ready?
Ready.
Sure. Let's
Diving
go.
right in. Before we'll do that, I just want to remind you all, submit the questions, engage with us. We want to learn from you. We want to learn what is that on your heart and on your mind, and when we're talking about becoming VP Product Management, and we want to support you. So please use the chat to show us your thoughts, your concerns, and your questions. The next question is to all of you guys, all mentors. It comes from Adva, and she is asking, what is the one skill or know-how you have to master to become a good VP Product Management? When, and most of all, when did you guys feel that you've got it and you're ready for the role? This is a good one.
So I can start.
Yeah, perfect.
So for sure, I believe that you should have a few skills for this role, right? But if I need to highlight one skill, then I will choose the communication. Because basically, I believe you need communication almost for everything. You need communication to communicate with your users, to better understand their needs, and sometimes the things that they don't even say directly to understand their needs. And you need to communicate with your team because you are leading a team, and you need them to really understand your expectations from what is required, from the strategy and the quality that you're asking them to do. And you need a communication across the organization because there are all the departments like marketing, sales, biz dev, operations, customer success, anything basically in the company that you should communicate with and really bring them together to think, even working on the roadmap. I believe you need them all, and you need a very good communication to set a very good roadmap, actually. So I really believe it's a very important skill on a daily basis, actually.
This is great. And can you share with us, if you remember, that minute that you felt like, you know what, I actually have this level of the skill of communication that will allow me to be a good VP product management, or just the overall feeling of I got it?
Of a product manager, of the communication skill.
Either, but what the question was made like, when did you felt like you were ready to be a VP product?
A VP product. Well, actually, I think you need three things, right? You need the skills, not just this one skill. You need a few skills, actually, and I'm sure Avishai and Timo could add some skills to the pile. So you need the skills, you need the experience as a product manager on products, with users, with different departments, and so on. And you need the confidence to take the responsibility, because being a VP product, it's not just a fun title to have, right? It's mostly the job to be done, the achievements, and the responsibility that comes with it. So you really need to feel the confident to do it, right? To take all the burden that goes along with the title.
And sometimes the pressure,
Yeah.
It needs to be said. Timo, would you like to jump in and share your thoughts with us?
Yeah.
One skill, and when did you feel you got it?
So first of all, maybe I think I never felt that I got it. I think it was more like I just picked the ball and run with it. It was never something that one moment. But that question made me think about what I think are good indicators when you might be in a good shape for taking over that responsibility. Maybe I'll start with that first.
Go ahead.
I think that one indicator that you have is obviously when you're standing in the room with all your other product people, and when the conversation gets stuck, then people look at you for, okay, how do we resolve that now? I think that's a sign, that's already a good sign. Same applies to when an executive really comes to you and asks for your opinion on certain things, and when they seriously listen. I think those two things are good indicators because they show that people trust you. And I think trust is the absolute minimum foundation of being a leader, no matter what kind of title you have. And the last one is, and that's pretty much aligned with what was already said. I think you need to be ready to take the ultimate accountability on moving goals. The goal will probably never be fixed, and will always change, and you might not be able to influence everything at the same time, but that's why you're there. You need this confidence and to make decisions in uncertainty, and that's what you need to deal with. I think that's and when you ask me what the one skill is that makes an outstanding VP, I think it's knowing when to change leadership styles. I know we talked about that before. I was once in a situation when I took over a company in a crisis, and in that case, we all learned to lead servantly, right? And in this moment, I felt like servant leadership doesn't help me now. Those people are so unsettled. They need some kind of direction. They need someone who's just getting started and just moving forward. No matter if it's right or wrong, it's just like getting the ball rolling. And I think that's something that I learned in my career. That leadership styles are, you need to be adaptive in your leadership style. Also, for example, when you get a new employee, it's, in my experience, often better to lead them closely in the beginning in order to set them up for success very quickly. And that served me well. So that's definitely my biggest takeaway from being a product leader.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing this with us. Avishai, the stage is yours.
Okay, so first of all, of course I agree with what was just said. The one thing that I think we should put on top of that as well is the ability to look at the big picture, to look at things at a macro level. As product managers, when we are defining specific features, we are very micro and we are really diving into the details, and you need to master the details in order to build the right feature. When you want to move to something with take more responsibility or bigger planning, you need to have the ability to look at the bigger picture, understand how the different features or capabilities of the product joins into something cohesive that can bring real benefits, and the benefits are relying to each other, not You're not just throwing different benefits and hoping that something will catch. And other than that, the ability to plan ahead when you're looking at the big picture. It's like you have a lighthouse ahead of you, and you are aiming your product towards there. There are many things in the way that will steer you away, and you need to see how you're getting there. And for that, zoom out, plan ahead, and then you'll be able to get there.
With that saying, we have nothing to do but moving to the next question, because this was perfect. So thank you very much. Ortal, this question goes to you. It comes from Dennis, and he's asking, what aspects do you highlight on your CV or work experience that differ from when you were not at the VP level?
Okay, so I think it's very important to understand that the VP product, first of all, is a title, but it's very different roles in different organizations. So it can be one thing in one organization and totally different in another organization. So first of all, it's really important to understand what do you want to do, what the responsibilities you would like to have. Just for example, in the last workplace, my last workplace, I was a VP product that was leading the product team and the design team. And today, as a VP product, I'm leading the product team, design team, BI, and some of the marketing. So there are many different things. There could be a VP product that actually does the execution, where the CEO decides about the strategy and what to do. And there are other organizations where the VP product decides everything regarding the strategy of the product. So you really need to understand what are you looking for, what is important for you, first of all, regardless the title. But if we look on the fact that you want to have as much responsibility on the leading the product, right, and impacting the product as much as possible, then probably you should look on things like strategy and roadmap, taking decision with management, employee management, people management, talking about the culture of product management in your organization. How did you affect it? And the big things that will help you reach this. Avishai, how did you call it? I forgot the word.
The lighthouse.
Yeah, the lighthouse, exactly. So all the big things that will help you to reach there, actually.
This is good. This is
Cool.
good.
And
Jump
I
right in,
wanted to
Avishai.
put on top. Yeah, so I want to put on top of that one additional thing, because we are talking about what to emphasize on the CV level. So I completely agree with everything that Ortal just said. Now, remember that when you are doing something, it should serve the goal that you have at that specific case. So if you're applying for a specific company, you need to understand what they're looking for. If they're looking for someone to deal with the strategic side, then you need to emphasize in your CV your strategic experience and capabilities. If they're looking for someone very tactical to do something very specific or something very about UI and UX, it depends what the company is looking. If you want to be hired or if you want them to call you back, make sure that you have different versions of your CV that address exactly what you are trying, the company that you are trying to achieve. A/B testing is true for everything. And without trying different things and see what makes the other side call you back, you will never know. So don't think that there are specific things that you need to highlight. Now, I'm not even mentioning that, of course, you have only one page in your CV, of course, regardless the fact that you have 25 years of experience. But in this one page, simply because nobody will read the second page, in this page, you need to have the emphasis for the specific company that you are addressing.
This is great. So even if the show will stop right now, we already learned 3 important things. The first, know yourself. Like, what is it that you are looking to do in your next role? Second, with that in mind, try to match your experience and the skills that you bring to the table to what the company is currently looking for, and a third, always test what you do, which is just great. So thank you very much, you both, for that. The next question goes to you, Timo. It comes from Adam, and he's asking, to become a chief product officer, how vital is a master degree? How relatively valuable is an MBA versus other kinds of graduate degrees? And is a graduate degree relevant only if it comes from a top tier school, an Ivy League?
Okay, so maybe first a disclaimer. I work mostly in small to mid-sized companies, so I cannot speak for large corporations, which I'm sure have different policies there. From my perspective, I think degrees don't matter at all. I mean, I think I don't have one, so I mean, I have one, a private one in audio engineering, which is totally unrelated um, to what I'm doing today. So I don't think they really matter. Of course, they don't hurt. I think you learn some valuable things when studying for a master's degree. But what's more important is your it's busy. Like Ortal said, communication is a super important thing already as a PM, not only as a VP. And I think the only thing that really matters is the track record of successes that you have and the results that you've brought to your companies. If you have that in place, everything else will not be a matter of discussion.
So education is very, very nice to have, but this is probably not going to be your shortcut into being a VP product or chief product officer. I totally agree with you. Timo, thank you for this one. Avishai, the next question from Michelle goes to you, and she's asking, aside from the usual chestnuts, network, becoming a thought leader in my domain, what are some less obvious ways to get into candidate pools for chief product officer or VP product roles?
Okay, so, well, I think that talking about the networking is the right thing. One of the ways, if you want to be part of the consideration, is try to look around who is looking for what. Either it's going through recruiters or it's going through Glassdoor or LinkedIn jobs or whatever. Once you understand that somebody is looking for a specific position, don't send your CV in this application in Goldstar or in Glassdoor or in LinkedIn. Don't click the submit. This is not the way. Now it's the time to go and look for people that might be relevant to give you a warm introduction. Cold calling compared to warm calling, it's something completely different in my eyes. So the one thing that I think that you need to have is that the persistency and to be kind of shameless, to approach people that might connect you to the relevant people that recruit and to help you open the door and start a discussion. Remember that the toughest part is to start a discussion with a company. Once you're in the discussion with the company, then if your skill set and what you're bringing to the table fits the company needs and the company fits what you need, it's a different discussion. But starting the discussion, this is the challenge. And it's like in sales, you need a lot of leads, some of them will convert. You need to create several opportunities if you want to get there. So from my perspective, if you see somebody that is connected to this company and you haven't talked with him for 5 years or 10 years and you worked in the past, forget about it. Give him a call. If he's a nice person, he will help you because this is what nice people are doing. And if not, then so what? So you tried. So I think that being shameless in this kind of a situation is very critical. Now, I'm telling you this from my perspective as somebody that looked for positions every now and then, not as somebody that ever recruited a VP product because I've never done that. But I think that this will open the doors and will take you to the right direction.
Can I jump in and add a thought of myself? Will be okay.
We'll be
You're
more
the
than
guest.
happy.
You're the guest. I don't want to take the light from you guys, but I just have to say something. There are two types of networking, okay? Because this subject was raised. There is good networking and let's call it less useful networking. The fact that you're out there in meetups or just mingling over products with others probably won't get you the next job, just because it has nothing to do with how good or not you are on the job. Other kinds of being engaged in the community, when people get to learn you, get to learn what is it that you do, how are you in interaction with people, this is where actually you can shine. But don't expect that just because you'll be out there, just the mingling aspect of networking, this will bring you your next role. And I'm saying that as someone who's a little out there, just because this community, and I see others that do that as well. This is not what gets me or others the jobs, and this is not the reason I will ever hire someone. And I actually hired for VP product, and I said it. I don't care how good in mingling the person is. I much care about whether this person will make someone on their team happy and excited to come to work. So if by mingling and networking you can show that you can inspire, that you can be the person that communicates well, as Ortal you said, being a trustworthy person, like Timo you just said, being the person that is laser focused and know how to get the job done, Avishai, like you mentioned before. If you can showcase that while mingling, well, you're halfway there. But it's not about the mingling aspect of networking. It's about presenting your skills in a more friendly way. So this is from me. Sorry for interrupting and jumping into.
Also, I wanted to add one thing.
Yes, of course.
I think it's very important to progress organization. You're already there, because once you show that you started from one place and advance in the same organization, that you grow, you know how to grow and take more responsibilities, and that you were appreciated. I think it has a lot of meaning, even more than just moving between organizations and then doing the another step up, let's say that way.
Absolutely. Ortal, I think there are some problems with your bandwidth. So if there are some unnecessary tabs that are open on your computer, please close them down, because we want to make sure that we hear everything that you say.
Yeah, I have many tabs.
As us all. So this is good. Timo, the next question is from David, who is asking, the skills for VP products are different from those of a regular product manager. Should I skip the hands-on PM skills and focus on the skills a VP has to gain?
Yeah, good question. But the simple answer is no. Like I said, I really believe in that trust is the foundation of everything. And now imagine you're a PM. How should you trust someone who never have been in the trenches of what you're doing? I mean, our role is so undefined, and it's so different in every single company. If there would be a leader who never did it, I just would trust him. And in the end, again, for me, it's about having a proven track record, and the skills are always something that you develop over time. They are not necessarily. I always hired people just more for track record or for, let's say, ambitions, and not so much for skills. Skills is something that I can easily teach someone.
I agree, Avishai. I couldn't miss your laugh, so I wonder if you have anything to add.
I completely agree with what it said. I don't believe, I believe in leading by example. And in order to do that, you must know the basics of the team that you want to manage. If you don't know the basic activities of your team, then it is very challenging to manage that. You don't have to be the best in all of them. You can manage a UX or a UI person without being a master in Photoshop or in XD or whatever. They'll better be better than you, but you need to understand the basics. Otherwise, the communication, you're not talking the same language.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Avishai, we are staying with you with a question that comes from John, and is asking, I want to become a chief product officer or a VP product at a large established company. Will working as a VP or CPO at a small company where I may be the only person in product help me?
Well, the answer is definitely maybe. It depends what you are doing in that small company. Just the fact that you have been a VP or a CPO, title is a nice thing. It means absolutely nothing in my eyes, at least. If you are dealing in the small company in the very strategic side, and this is what the bigger company is looking, then they will look on the skill set and the experience that you have gained in your work. If not, if just being the title, nobody's looking, hey, I'm a big corporate, and I'm saying it from my experience as working in HP, who was huge. Nobody's looking for somebody because he has just the right title. We're trying to understand always what exactly is the experience the person is bringing within to the table. As a concept, I think, at least from my knowledge, my experience, if you want to be in the leadership in a big company, go work for a big company. It's a different story. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different behavior. It's different practices for some of the things, and it's definitely a different pace than working in a startup. It will be very difficult to grow up in a startup community and then all of a sudden be a VP product automatically in a big organization. It can happen. Everything can happen. You might meet the right people. Somebody that you work with in one of the startup maybe will go and do a different position in that company, and you will know, hey, this is the guy to do the job. So, and this is why I said it's a maybe. But I think it's a better direction if you want to be part of big organizations. Grow with the organization. First of all, it's in the nature of these organizations, and other than that, it will grow you to learn the procedures and the ways a big organization are working, and it is extremely different than the way startups are working.
Yeah, politics are different. The phase that things are moving according to is different.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Do you have anything to add, Ortal, from your experience?
No, I said I totally agree with Avishai here.
Perfect. Anya is asking you, Ortal, when you become the leader of a product management team or organization, how do you balance doing what you love to do, getting your hands dirty with product management work, versus coaching and helping others? How did you think through this when you were at the Jactor?
First of all, I think that when you're a VP product, you should love managing as well. I mean, doing what you love, it's not just the product management professional job. Now you have another profession with it, which is management, actually. So
we kind of lost you in the last sentence, Ortal. So what we're going to do is moving to Timo, and then can you please take off the headphones? We're doing A/B testing live, understanding the QA quality assurance of what's going on here. Thank you for your patience. By the way, I see amazing questions in the chat. This is good. Keep them coming, because otherwise the guys won't be able to answer them. So this is good. Timo, we are moving to you with a question from Anna, who is asking, can you please share your tips for managing up?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Three things. First of all, I think that's what Ortal said before. It's taking ownership, communicating proactively, and demonstrate accountability, especially when things go wrong. This builds and maintains trust. I think that's important. Now, another one that might be a little bit, I have to put it into a disclaimer again, right? Because I'm not working in a large corporation, but I found never be afraid of stepping on someone else's toes. I think I learned that once from Chips and Biddle from Netflix. A good fight is always part of a family, right? It's just part of our natural life, and I think embracing that, and especially as a VP product, ensuring that you don't land in a culture where the best compromise wins, but the best result wins, is important. And that's why I think that was a very important lesson I learned, not to fall back into the role of a facilitator, but really steering the ship and really moving it forward. And last but not least, it's important to understand, in general, human psychology, and especially with the executives, their goals and their style of communication leadership. For example, I spent hours on whiteboards mapping out the next strange or complicated conversation with my CEO, because I knew he's doing the same. So I just wanted, it's not about like who's right or wrong. It was more about, I wanted to at least show the respect that he prepares, so I need to be prepared too. And I also wanted to be in a position to challenge him as much as he challenges me. And I think when you keep those things, that helps you to basically stay on one level, eye to eye level with them. And this is definitely something that they respect. And by the way, it's not dependent on, again, not dependent on the title. Every PM is a leader. So every PM should do that and learn that over time. There's nothing, I think the one quote that I always had in mind that formed my life was, never ask for permission, always ask for forgiveness later from Seth Godin. I think that's so true.
So always be prepared and challenge with the aim of having and creating the best products out there. This is good. Thank you. Okay, Avishai, the question from Lisa is waiting for you. And she's asking, what were the biggest challenges you faced as you transitioned from individual contributor into a manager and then into a manager of managers on your role, and how did this impact your decision to pursue a VP role?
Okay, so I'll start by that I've never had a goal to pursue a VP role. It just happened. And as a concept, I don't believe that a specific title is a role. Do what you like, what you enjoy, what you feel you're good and you're contributing, and the rest will fall in place. This is what I believe. So I know that we are here talking about how to become a VP product. I don't think it's a goal, but having said that, I will tell the challenges or the difference that I had as I grew up from an individual contributor to manage people and then to manage more people. And the issue, it's all about letting go. It's you know, when you're an individual contributor, you're on the to-do list and you're very hands-on and you know everything that happened. And the minute that you're managing more and more people, you need to let go. Don't try to understand exactly what they're doing. Define what are the big goals or what are the big targets that the team is trying to achieve. Let them do the thing. If they need help, make sure that they know that you are there to support them and to help them, even if it just have to define a specific screen or whatever, or having a nice conversation with a customer. How would you make it? What are the questions that you will ask? How you will put open question instead of closed? These kind of things. I believe that people that are going into product, they're open-minded and they want to be able to do things. And I think that being all over them will kill the creativity. It's true in general, I think, in other parts of our high-tech world as well. So the challenge is not to try and know everything that happens in the team or in the organization. Make sure that you are on top of the important things, not on everything.
Loving it. Loving it. So guys, just before we are moving into the Q&A part of this session, if you haven't by now, make sure to like this video so you'll be notified on our next future events every Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to have you here with us. So the next question from Ryan, it's a question that is true for every day, but now when we are, you know, COVID-19 and other crazy things that happen in the world out there, the world is changing. And Ryan is asking, Ryan here from Vancouver, Canada. Hi Ryan, happy to have you here with us. Curious about new approaches to product roadmap, vision, and prioritization. What are VP products using these days to manage vision when things are changing so fast?
Well, I think it goes back to the basic way of how you're managing. What is the way that you're managing your backlog in your organization? The same tool that you're using to manage the backlog It can be Excel. I hope you're not using it. It can be Jira or Monday or any other tools that helps you to work together with your R&D to manage the things. This is the tool. I don't think that you need to do something special about it. Now, the important thing about managing a backlog is that always the most important things are at the top. And if you want to move something to the top because you think it's important, then you need to decide what you are pushing down because you will not be able to do everything. So the tooling should be, in my eyes, exactly the same. The reasoning should be different. In difficult times, we need to understand what are the things that are moving the needle the most. So sometimes things that we thought that would be nice to have, it's time to put them on hold, because today the most important thing is how to help remote people, because you can, onboard the product because there is no classes, or people are not meeting in order to get educated how to use the product. Sure, your products are self-explanatory in any case, but you need to manage the same thing and then put things in the right perspective and put the right priorities. And don't be afraid, from my perspective, to put things down. They will come in a better time when it will be easier.
Yes, I just want to emphasize as well that actually the tools are the same in my opinion, but you just need to reevaluate the situation to understand what is the positioning of your product in the world right now. Where is your customers right now? If the customers are the local businesses, then you really should rethink about everything and understand what is the position and what will move the needle, and even more than the needle, right? It's a big thing right now. And if your product is for enterprises that didn't harm so much, so maybe your changes are minor. And if it's, I don't know, security companies that didn't weren't harm at all, then maybe you don't need to change a thing. So you really need to do the analysis of the positioning of the product right now and the users that you have.
This is good. This is good. Timo, anything to add?
No, I think everything is said. I also think tool set is all the same. It's just a matter of reassessing your current situation, and if you need to change something, or just stick to the strategy that you said before. Yeah, I don't think there's anything specific.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Ruth from Israel is asking, actually it goes through some of the things we mentioned before, so you may have what to add, but may not. What makes VP product role different from product director role? Avishai, I'm sure you have something to say about it.
Well, honestly, the title, nothing else. It depends. It depends on the company. Well, of course, every company is dealing it with different places. I can share from my experience that I was director of product in some companies, that my responsibility and the number of people that I managed were much higher or bigger responsibilities than what I had in some of the startups that I worked, where I was a one-man show in the product department, and I did everything end to end. And especially in startup, when you have very technical founders, then the direction of the company is pretty much set. Now we are trying to build the right product to do that. And sometimes in the bigger companies, when you are just a director or even just a senior or whatever, your ability to really influence and build new products out of nothing are more significant, because there is a variety, and not like in a startup where you have one thing that everybody is trying to achieve. So sometimes there will be a change, sometimes there will be no change, sometimes the director will do more than what a VP is doing. Depends on the company.
So true. We are moving to a very interesting question from Chen Hael from the Bay Area, who is asking, who should the VP product report to? Going back to our talks about politics at the office. So who should the VP product report to?
I believe that he should report to the CEO, but actually it differs between companies. Sometimes they put it under the CTO, sometimes there is a CPO, again, politics and the positioning of the founders and so on. But actually, I really believe it should be under the CEO because this is the way he could influence the most and could really take decisions that will impact mostly the product and hopefully will deal less with politics and layers on the way.
The next question is from Preeti. I hope I pronounce it correctly. And she's asking what extra skills or efforts are required to score PM roles outside of one's home or base location? Any specific approach or platforms to make use of it? I guess what you meant to ask is when you're looking for a position in another geography. So what is the right approach to do that from your experience?
Experience. You need to have the experience in product. It's the best way to learn is not in a course or something like that, is by working with experienced people, whether it is your manager or the peers that you're working with. So if you have an experience and you know what you're doing, then you can. I don't know if you are meaning to work remotely or you want to relocate to a different place, but the judgment will be based on the experience that you are bringing with you to the table. If you work with another team, then and you're bringing a certain skill set, cool. If you were a one-man person in a specific company, in a specific startup, or in a small team, then you are bringing very, very specific knowledge, and you need to see if it fits. In general, typically, when I'm looking for somebody, I'm looking for either somebody who is coming with the domain knowledge. If I'm in the cybersecurity company, I want somebody with this specific knowledge, and I don't care about the product capabilities. I'll teach him that. Or I'm looking for a very experienced product person, and I'll teach him the domain. So you need to have one of these, and according to that, you can try and approach, I think.
I think the best advice was already given by Avishai before. So if you want to get into another geography, just try to find your way to network into it, and try to find companies that you want to work for, that fit to what you want to do, and try to find your way into them. I think in today's world, there's no large hurdle, I would say, for changing geographies.
Yeah, so if to say what you're saying in a different way, we're going back to don't frame your search by geography or something like that. Just look for companies that you want to do the job, the work that is being done there.
Yeah.
And then apply. This is good. Thank you. We are moving to a question from Long J. I again hope that I pronounce it correctly. And I can see, I think it's a he. He's asking, how do you track the progress of your product produced by the PMs you manage? So going back to showcasing our success, how do you actually track and record the job that is done by the people that you manage on your team? It's an interesting one.
So how I usually did it was, I worked mainly for product-driven companies. So product was basically a strategic driver, which means my main responsibility was I took the top line KPIs, and that was my accountability. And with that said, what I did then, I sat together with the team, broke down basically the top level KPIs into more actionable ones, and then assigned basically owners of those KPIs. And they were moving those things forward. And that was my main measurement. Aside from that, I was obviously assessing how good they fit with the culture. That's the second part, the more I would say, maybe not so easy to measure part. It's very subjective sometimes. But I was very open about that, already telling them every 6 to 8 weeks what I think, how they perform in that area, so that we can have an open discussion about if I see things wrong or not.
Yeah. I completely agree with what Timo just shared, and it's depending. It goes again to the phase of the company, what we are trying to achieve as a company at this specific stage. If we are in the early adapters, then we want more and more customers. So we need to make sure that we are reducing the friction on the onboarding or starting using the product and something like that. So this is what we will use. This is the KPI of the company, but of course of the PM, because he needs to drive that. If we want to go, we are in the growth, or now we are in the revenue, or now we want to have an NPS. So the company has specific KPIs in different stages. The product should be aligned with this KPIs in the different stages.
Absolutely. We have a question comes from Shelly, who is asking, how do you set your vision and goals for your product team?
It's an excellent question. How can you explain it in an answer? This is the...
So now we're entering a new session.
Yeah. We need 1 hour for this, I'm guessing.
Indeed, a great question.
So how do you set it, or how do you explain it to your employees?
Let's say both.
So to set the vision, I think you need to do a lot of work. Yeah, it should be really understanding the needs you are trying to solve, what is happening in the world, let's say, to set up the vision, because the vision is there to answer a need, actually, and to show a more beautiful world in a specific area. So you need to understand the world and the needs of the people, your users, and then say, okay, this is the world I want to see. This is the solution I want to have in this world, to set the vision. So you need to talk to the users, to understand the market, and so on. So it's a process. It's not just, okay, give me 2 hours and I'll give you the vision. Okay, it's longer than that. And of course, it's very important piece to how to transfer it to the team, right? So they will understand what you are visioning. So they will connect to it. They will feel it as much as you feel it. It's a very important piece. I think you should repeat it over and over in the organization. Sometimes for me it feels too much, because I said it already. But every time I understand that you need to repeat it over and over and over again. And of course, I really believe that it would be best just to put it on the wall, even if necessary, to show it. And of course, always on the daily work to connect to it. Always when you have a decision for something, you need to connect it to the vision and explain why you decided the decision you made just right now.
This is perfect. And following this great question by Shelley, she's asking another great question. Being a great leader is also creating a following. How do you cultivate a following from product professionals on your team? I'll lead.
Can you repeat?
Of course. This is what I'm here for. Being a great leader is also about creating a following, making others to follow us. So how do you cultivate a following from product professionals? Because product professionals, we know we're people, right? We all have very strong opinions. We all know what is to do in the product. And when we need to lead, we need these people to trust us, to sometimes put their own ideas aside and follow us and our hypotheses. So how do we do that?
So it's I think that it's first of all being very transparent with the reasoning for things, why we're doing one thing and not the other, not because we decided, but because there is a reason, and then let's discuss the different reasons that we're doing. I think that connecting it to the previous question as well, there is one thing about the vision of the product that we are trying to solve as a company. There is another thing of the vision, how the product team is supporting the company. The company has specific needs, specific goals. Different companies have different needs. Different founders need different things from their product team. We need to be aligned with that. And other than the vision of the product itself, we need to understand what the organization needs from us. And we need to make sure that in the things, the actions that we are doing, we are fulfilling the needs of the organization. And this should be transparent. The team should know that. When the team understands what the organization, the internal organization is expecting from us, and what is the product users is expecting from us, and what they hope that we will help them to solve, and when this is on the table, it is easier to understand that, okay, let's go as one group towards that direction. The direction makes sense. And other than that, it is very important in my eyes that the team will always know that they can question the vision and the direction. Maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we are going towards the wrong vision. Let's talk about it. Why we're doing that and not something else? And an open discussion will always make people want to be part of this group.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're just about to close this session, but not yet, because I have a very interesting and important question to you all three. I'll ask you to hold your thoughts and answers because I want to build this a little momentum here. And in the meantime, please think about the one thing you want the audience to learn from you when it comes to their career growth and management, because the subject for this session is how to get into VP product management, but I think the overall discussion here is how to be good at what you do in a way that will get others to recognize your work and give the trust and the admiration even sometimes in your skills and in your knowledge that will get you to lead others. So please, all three, think about the one thing that you would like the audience to learn from you when we're talking about this discussion. And in the meantime, dear leaguers, if you want more tips, strategies, and how-to videos like this one, articles, and everything product, so you will become the best product manager you can be, please make sure to like this channel, like this video, and just follow us because we love Product Party with you and we love you hanging out with us here. So, Avishai, what is the one thing?
So the one thing is, I think that a title is not a goal. I said it before, and this is my deepest belief. In my career, I went to higher titles and I went to lower titles, and I don't care about it. And I think this is one of the things that helped me be happy in the place that I'm at, and helped me to get to the next things when they're interesting. Try to enjoy your work. This is what will make you a great worker or contributor when you are enjoying what you are doing. I think that titles are misleading. And if there is one thing that I think can be a good takeaway from this session, it's not about the title, it's about what you're doing. Some product managers are doing more strategic work than many other VPs, especially when we are going to the bigger companies. You are dealing with much more than what you're dealing in the startups. And I'm a VP product of a startup right now. But in a startup, there is a very specific goal and something very specific that we are trying to achieve and prove. And the ability for creativity in some of the places sometimes is more limited than what you can do when you have a variety of products and a larger team. So my takeaway is enjoy what you're doing. It will be fun and you'll be good at it.
Amen to that. Timo, what about you? One thing that you want to share with the crowd?
Yeah, I think it's, again, focusing on creating impact, right? Don't get caught up in all the methodologies, tools, and all those kind of things. The only thing in the end that counts is the achievements that you had, and that will make you a successful product person, whatever title you have. I fully agree.
Make the work, everything will follow from there. Ortal?
Well, I think that I would like you always to think about the people in everything you do, right? You need to think what will be the best approach when you think about the people, whether they are your users and you need to give them the best product, whether they are your colleagues and you want to have the best collaboration ever because a product is done by a great team and not one person, or whether it's your employees that you want to transfer the vision of the product. So think about the people, what will be visionary, how to explain the vision in the most persuasive way, actually. So people is everything, basically.
That's true. That's true. I can't agree more. Ortal Cohen Tevel, VP Product at Kolu and Product League Mentor. Timo Sturm, Product Management Consultant and Product League Mentor. And Avishai Shafir, VP Product at Lumigo and Product League Mentor. It's not just that we are so happy to have you mentors on our program. We are so happy and thankful for you to take the time to share your thoughts, ideas, concerns, everything with us today and just leading our audience to become the best product managers they can be. I hope that you had as much fun as I did.
Yes.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. It has been a pleasure. Keep up productizing and bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.